Carlos Alcaraz and Brooks Nader, surprise couple, the model's sister confirms it. Carlos Alcaraz is also triumphing off the court. Brooks Nader, a Lebanese descendant model, 28 years old, who has gathered a large community of more than 1 million followers on her social media, would today be his new partner according to what was declared by the model's sister, Grace Nader, who confirmed it to Elle News during the Raising Cane's runway show at New York Fashion Week. The rumors are true. Dating someone is a very imprecise term. But I know he is the man of the moment, she assured, not without saying first, I'm dying to meet him. He's a hottie. According to Grace Nader herself, the world number one in tennis and recent US Open champion has already had the chance to meet two of Brooks's sisters, Mary Holland Nader, 26, and Sarah Jane Nader, 23. Brooks Nader married in December 2019, when she was 22 years old, to publicist William Hare, 11 years older than her. Finally, they divorced in May 2024. In June 2024 she made headlines when she appeared alongside Prince Constantine of Greece at the wedding of Olivia Culpo, Miss Universe 2012. Her last known official partner was Russian dancer and choreographer Gleb Savchenko, whom she met in September 2024 during the TV show Dancing with the Stars and from whom she split last April. How much money does Carlos Alcaraz get for winning the US Open final, the biggest prize purse in history? The singles winner, both male and female, will receive €4,250,000, the highest figure to date in a Grand Slam. In this way, Alcaraz, just like Sabalenka, has once again set a milestone in this sport. The total distribution of the US Open increased by 20% compared to the previous edition, while the champion's prize rose by 39% compared to 2024 when Sinner won, a growth that also expanded the remuneration of early rounds and intermediate rounds in the draw. For reaching the main draw, the player eliminated in the first round earns €93,500, the second round pays €130,900 and the third €201,450. These amounts help sustain professional sporting careers and guarantee a better long-term economic foundation. Those who reached the round of 16 took home €340,000, quarterfinals were worth €561,000, each semi-finalist added €1,260,000, the finalist collects €2,125,000 and the champion earns €4,250,000, redefining the current maximum remuneration in professional circuit tournaments worldwide. A great additional prize for the Spaniard, who this Sunday earned his sixth major and his second triumph in New York after being crowned at 19 years old in 2022, consolidating his precocious promising trajectory. In addition to the title and the world number one, Alcaraz leaves Flushing Meadows with the largest check in the history of the majors, a sum that far surpasses the prizes awarded by previous Roland Garros or Wimbledon. Alcaraz earned €2,550,000 for his Roland Garros title, while Sinner collected €3,503,490 after his Wimbledon crown, figures that now pale in comparison to the new financial ceiling of the US Open and reconfigure current financial priorities. Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner once again shone in a US Open final where another Grand Slam title, the ATP World No. 1 ranking, and a juicy prize purse the largest ever seen in tennis history, were at stake. The North American Grand Slam increased its purse this year to €76,500,000, a historic figure that positions the tournament as the financial benchmark of the circuit and redefines salary expectations for professional players, transforming the internal economy of the circuit. Alcaraz responds to the controversy over Donald Trump's reaction at the US Open. The images of the final between Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner not only left a new chapter in tennis history, but also sparked an unexpected debate on social media. And it had nothing to do with a point, nor with the celebration of the Mercian, but with the reaction of the President of the United States, Donald Trump, from the box. The cameras focused on him right after Alcaraz's victory and his gesture was cold, distant, very different from the widespread euphoria in Arthur Ashe Stadium. Now, Alcaraz himself has broken his silence. Nobody wanted to miss the great US Open 2025 final. Hollywood actors, NFL and NBA stars, businessmen, and politicians flocked to New York to witness the clash between Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner. Among them, a figure who always makes headlines, Donald Trump. Security even caused the match to start half an hour late. Everything was ready for a final that ended with Alcaraz's sixth Grand Slam. However, at the end, when cameras focused on the US president, what should have been a simple protocol image turned into a wave of comments. Trump appeared applauding, yes, but with an expressionless gesture, distant, without the emotion that filled the rest of the stadium. The Arthur Ashe crowd erupted in applause and shouts, while his reaction was perceived as cold. Social media interpreted it as disinterest, displeasure, or even disapproval. Hence the controversy. Was Trump upset with Alcaraz's victory? With the uproar taking over social networks and headlines multiplying in the international press, Carlos Alcaraz decided to speak out. The Mercian, far from fueling the controversy, chose to ease the tension and send a message of calm. "I've seen the controversy on social media," he began explaining. "In the end, it's just a moment the cameras capture and it can be totally misinterpreted. People can think he didn't like me winning." With those words, Alcaraz made it clear that he doesn't believe there was any ill intention in the president's reaction. Rather, he interpreted it as an out-of-context gesture, a frozen instant that on social media is magnified and turned into a trend. The Spaniard's message reflects maturity and also experience in handling these kinds of situations. Instead of getting into a back and forth of interpretations, Alcaraz preferred to maintain neutrality, aware that his sporting victory should not be mixed with political controversy. Alcaraz's statements had an immediate impact. Many users highlighted his ability to downplay an issue that really should not overshadow his triumph. Others, however, maintain that the box images speak for themselves. What is certain is that the episode shows the power of social media to generate narratives around a simple gesture. In the digital age, a cold clap can turn into a political debate, and a tennis match into a subject of social analysis. At just 22 years old, Alcaraz shows that besides being a sports star, he is also beginning to handle the media stage that surrounds him. The US Open 2025 final left Carlos Alcaraz with a sixth Grand Slam title and the top of world tennis. But it also generated an unexpected debate with Donald Trump's reaction in the box. Alcaraz, with elegance and composure, responded to the controversy, reminding that everything can be misinterpreted when cameras capture an instant. His message was clear: he sees no problem and prefers the conversation to return to where it should be, the court, where he made history once again. Sinner's drastic decision after losing to Alcaraz: "Even if I lose some matches." Sinner has only won 5 of the 15 times he has faced the Spaniard and 1 final out of the last 5. Jannik Sinner once again saw how Carlos Alcaraz snatched a Grand Slam from him after having done so at Roland Garros. This time, it was the US Open where the Spaniard took his particular revenge after losing at Wimbledon. The Italian not only surrendered the crown he was defending in New York, but also saw the Spaniard take away the world number 1. Alcaraz has Sinner's number and has beaten him in 10 of their 15 clashes, as well as in 4 of the last 5 finals they've played. After the match, Sinner bowed to Carlos. "It's very simple, he's a different player. It's that simple. He has no weaknesses, like other players do. He has improved since the last time. This Sunday he played cleaner. The things I did well in London, he did well at the US Open. I felt he was doing things better than me, especially with his serve. He handled the situation exceptionally. I'm proud of myself, but he was better," Jannik acknowledged sincerely. Sinner had a great season, reaching all 4 Grand Slam finals this year, but he knows he must change his game to beat Alcaraz. "My idea is, even if I have to lose some matches from now on, to try to make changes. I must become a bit more unpredictable, because I think that's what I need to do to be a better tennis player," he said. Juan Carlos Ferrero reveals the tactic Alcaraz used to beat Sinner in the US Open final. Juan Carlos Ferrero, coach of Carlos Alcaraz, was all smiles this Sunday after the Mercian tennis player conquered his 2nd US Open and 6th Grand Slam, also becoming the 4th player in history to win at least 2 majors on each surface. Hence the Valencian coach described his pupil as chameleonic, capable of adapting during the match to any instruction received from his team. What's most incredible about Carlos is how good he is at correcting in a very short time the small details he needs to improve, Ferrero stated in the post-match press conference. "He is chameleonic and you can ask him for anything during the match, he adapts and in the end he pulls it off, and we also translate that a lot into training." The former Valencian player explained that after the Wimbledon final loss 2 months ago, also against Sinner, he asked him for certain new things to prepare for the next matches against Jannik in particular. "In just 10 days he improved considerably," said Ferrero, who detailed that they sat down to analyze the Roland Garros and Wimbledon finals to try to see the small things that could be improved. Ferrero also described Alcaraz's performance this afternoon in New York as perfect, in which he defeated Sinner 6-2, 3-6, 6-1, 6-4 in 2 hours and 42 minutes. He also said that this rivalry with Sinner right now seems like the one Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic had for almost 2 decades. "Who knows in the future," he added.